EIDL grant is back, baby. It's in the third stimulus package, and it's $5,000 exactly if you had a downtowner of your business more than 50% during the pandemic and have less than 10 employees. But how do you apply for EIDL grant? In this throwback video, I explain the EIDL grant, the application process, and more. Enjoy this overnight LA throwback video on the EIDL grant. What can you use EIDL grant money for, and what can you use EIDL loan money for? This is a Monday update, and we have a lot of economic news we're going to drop in this video as well. Wow, some good bombshells. Thanks for tuning in. This is LALATE. As always, like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in tomorrow's EIDL grant video. And please hit that bell at the front of this video, at the front of this channel, so you get alerts when a new EIDL grant video goes live. And we'll be answering all 30 of your EIDL grant videos from a barely watched, lonely, abandoned video on EIDL grant from Sunday that none of you watched. What are y'all doing? You all on vacation or something? Come on now. Gotta watch these videos. But first, let me give you a little bit of economic news, which is quite surprising. The second stimulus, before we get to those shocking details of what you can use the loan and grant money for, new data revealed today says the impact from the pandemic could be much longer and more severe than ever thought before. There's still concern and confusion whether we are in a recession or a depression, but the new data suggests that the GDP in America could be impacted down by 3% through 2030. A loss of $7.9 trillion from America's GDP over the next couple of decades. It's that type of next decade. It's that type of concern that no one knows how bad is. Quote, business closures and social distancing measures are expected to curb consumer retail spending, while the recent drop in energy prices is projected to severely reduce U.S. investment in the energy sector, said CBO Director Philip Schwagel in a letter this week. Recent legislation will, in the assessment, partially mitigate the deterioration of the economic concerns that the CBO, which is the Congressional Budget Office, is now warning that the virus could kill more than us, but also nearly $8 trillion of our economy over the next 10 years. So those claims by some members of Congress that we're going to be in a V, that we're going to rebound just within minutes, is perhaps not completely untrue. So let's get to some of your incredible EIDL grant questions from Sunday's abandoned video that no one watched. I don't know what you're all doing. Watch the videos. And then we'll get to those details about the grant uses and the loan uses. Marina's on. How to get a loan officer, because I need to talk to one about my reconsideration application. So if you got an EIDL loan denial and you're doing a reconsideration, I've gotten this question a lot in the last 24 hours. The following. You say, what happens next? Well, you first have to get a response back that says they got it. If you don't get that, you need to send it again. Once they get it, then within about 24 hours, they say, start sending me documents, send me this, send me that. If they don't do that, there's something going wrong. You need to follow up with them. Jeannie Farnsworth, you might be our Mitch McConnell of EIDL. I love you, LA. Yes, if you haven't watched our second stimulus check on Mitch today and want to bitch on Mitch, then and have an itch to do it, and jump onto our second stimulus check video, and I know you are itching to do it. The Flow Next Chapter, they call me from the SBA regularly regarding my EIDL loan, saying they're going to send me an email and sing and said, I'm not going to do them nothing. Is SBA telling viewers of this channel now to sing? I mean, the requirements, they're really moving the goalposts. Now they're telling viewers of this channel that they got to sing to get an EIDL loan. I think that's what he said. Amy Perkins. Oh, he did flow. Next chapter has another thing. What would happen if I spent my $7,000 loan, but I don't have proof if I'm up to date on payments all the time? Uh, well, you could. That is one has nothing to do with the other. Amy Perkins, the whole EIDL grant is a joke. I applied for the grant on April 11th, heard nothing until this past Monday when they ran my credit check. Got a denial letter, no grant, no loan, no nothing. I'm from Ohio. Oh, God, Ohio. That's had those security breaches, and no one's got their PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or UI, which I'll drop in the links above. Awful. Ohio is just... I'll keep you posted if anything happens. Yeah, I mean, anything's going to be nothing. Just a horrible mess in Ohio. Madhouse Fifi. Oh, what a great screen name. A massive amount of EIDL grant, $10,000 money was delivered on 5/1. In the description, what does that mean? In the description above, what does that mean? I don't know what you're referring to. These are interesting comments today. Sparkle Tech window watching. Called all day on Monday. The system hung up on me. Never got through. I mean, don't you love that? At SBA, we had the one viewer who called SBA the other day and read him Kimberly Butler's letter and said, "How dare Kimberly Butler say that?" And the viewers and the SBA officer hung up on him. But this one, the machine hung up on him. Maybe Kimberly modified their machines there at SBA. Mooj G, forgot the streamline application. Just give me the portal for the loan officer that offered the $250,000 EIDL loan. I mean, hit Adam in somewhere in the comments of this video. Adam, we had a video on Friday about the EIDL grant and loan, and a viewer of... oh, no, that was not Adam. That was Saturday. A viewer said, "Hey, I want some more loan money. Oh, I'll give you $250,000. The loan officer just rolled over and gave him $250,000. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the viewer. I forgot it. Fortunately, I don't have that loan officer's direct dial number, cell number, you know. You could all send him a bouquet and tell him to write your loan for you. Samantha, you're dedicating this video to the noble SBA officers, precious. This tells the government, this tells of your generous nature. Yes, today's video is dedicated to the Honorable Kimberly Butler. The other one was dedicated to Mitch McConnell. Mad Hatter Glitters, I need to find a way to get the SBA. I was self-employed since January, a little side cleaning business, but I had nothing to fall back on the bank because of my low credit rating. And I have a business gank. I'm giving up. I guess Jossie's illegal invaders have our money. Who's Jossie's illegal invaders? Is that a new video game? I don't know what that's talking about. Who wrote these comments today? Oh, here's the flow next chapter. I'm going to get stumped again. Basically, they used my $1,000 grant I applied for to get $7,000 loan and a $1,000 grant won. I don't know what that means. Okay. So, I see what he's saying. He was looking for a $10,000. This time I understood the flow. Sorry, the flow. This time he's saying he wanted his $10,000 grant, but all they gave him was a $1,000 grant and a $7,000 loan. Well, if you don't want the loan, give it back to Flow. You don't have to keep the loan. It's not. You can send it back. There is no early payment penalty to send it back. Elmer, they're destroyed businesses in LA. They could definitely use a $10,000 grant. Yes, I mean, that was the topic of our video on Sunday, that a lot of businesses desecrated by the terror and riots across the country, looting and fires, certainly need disaster relief. We think that SBA will reopen disaster relief for these disaster zones. These are disaster zones that have been certified as state disasters by their governors. So why should the SBA not write them loans? If they do, I'll update it immediately. But that was the topic of yesterday's video. Latoyd Matthias, bombshell at 1643. I love you, LA. Why did you read Mitch Jose's message like that? I love your spirit. Did I butcher Mitch Jose's message yesterday? I forgot what I did. Golden Road. So I filed for April $10,000 grant, but I only got an email last week saying denied for a loan. Called Tuesday and checking for the grant. A person said, if you got a denial letter, do you still get grants? Why would I receive a denial letter when I didn't ask for a loan? Golden Road is a new viewer to this channel, obviously, and I will answer your question, Golden Road. 2 weeks ago, this channel, in an exclusive at that time, no, I think it's now almost 3 weeks ago, said that if SBA has changed their process that they're not giving grants as an advance, that you're only getting a grant if you get a loan, and if you don't get a loan approved, you're not getting a grant. Sorry to give that information to Flow Chapter again. Wow. What about if you don't have any proof, but you do your loan payments all the time? Would you get in trouble? Yes. I mean, well, to Flow, your loan is $7,000. Okay, so your loan is under $7,000. It's not collateralized. So, but you still have to follow the terms and conditions of the loan agreement. So no, you can't just do anything you want to do, even if you pay your bills. No. Wuhan, in the portal, LALATE, in the portal with the EIDL loan offer, on the right side, there's a box that says, need help, send requests it now, that there's no option for loan officers. Above it, there's another box which says questions and gives a toll-free number to call. What do you recommend I get to use to get a loan officer? And what is the best language to use when asking for a loan increase? This would be so helpful. So thank you, and we love you so much. Wuhan, I would call SBA. I would not use the portal to trigger a loan officer. I would call SBA to try to raise the loan offer. I would call SBA to ask where the grant is, when is it coming, how's it coming, and the manners in which it's coming. I would get all that, and backdoored as a way to get into touch with the loan officer. Now, they may not give you the loan officer until you accept the loan, and then they'll give the loan officer, but there is a loan officer assigned to your account. We know that because a few weeks ago, the whole process went from initial all automation to automation and now human review. Blady loved it. Well, thank you. And M loved it. Well, thank you. So here is our bombshell, our update, our twist for Monday, and it's coming just in time for the plane to come as well. So let me talk a little louder. What can you use EIDL grant money for? What can you use EIDL loan money for? And I think that's what the Flow Chapter was basically getting at in his questions. Here's the answer. You can use EIDL grant money for anything you want. Because the grant, it is not repayable. There's no loan agreement for it, and it's not tied to a loan. The grant we are referring to is a grant that came as an advance for some of you, or in some of the cases coming after the loan is not memorialized as part of the loan agreement. The concern that grants are memorialized as part of your loan or part of the loan, please click the link in the video today, because that is a real big issue. When the grant is separate, when it is coming before the loan, it's coming after the loan, is not part of the loan agreement. You can use the grant money for anything you want to use the grant money for. It is when that grant is part of the loan, that is actually mentioned in the loan agreement, that is when I'm concerned for you. And that brings us to our second analysis. What can you use EIDL loan money for? It's all delineated in the loan agreement. It states what you can use EIDL loan money for. Do not do the following. One, do not talk to SBA and say, well, so-and-so told me this and Jessica told me that. Two, do not rely upon emails or letters or correspondences from SBA officers as indication of what you can use the loan for. It is what's in the writing of the loan agreement, and that is it. Three, don't think you can get around it or do it in another way. And that's what the Flow Chapter was basically asking. Hey, if I make my payments for principal and interest, can I just use the loan money however I want to use it? No, you absolutely cannot. Ultimately, you have to follow the loan agreement terms. Grant? No. If the grant is not part of the loan, if it's not memorialized in the loan, if it came separate or came before or came after, it is for you to use as you so wish. And there you go. So let's get to a few last questions. Heaven Lee M. Bombshell, check this out. Okay, I'm ready, Heaven Lee. Applied in the vortex, and apparently the box I checked requesting the grant somehow became unchecked. Not the only viewer who has said this. I called in to follow up and had to update banking info, and then they let me know I checked the box. I wanted the grant. Seriously, who wouldn't want it? Many, many calls over the next couple of months until I finally got a loan offer. I inquired with the loan officer about the grant. He tells me he doesn't handle that and I should call customer service. I call customer service again, and they told me that I should speak to the loan officer. So I decided to sign the loan offer for fear of letting it expire. Still no grant. I called in today. And I was told I likely won't get the grant because they're only giving it based upon the original application with the unchecked box. Not true, but horrible. Side note, I know that my loan cannot be used to relocate, but what do you think if I end up having to close down my business after accepting a loan? Will be in default of the loan? Um, yeah, I mean, the terms and conditions, which is a video from today, I'll link it in the screen grab above, says you can't close down your business. If you want to close down the business, you have to get the loan back. Sparkle Tech window washing applied for 6, received grant 5-1, still nothing, calls every day, still keep calling. John Young, hail, I was denied because they said they could not find proof of my agency was affected. Another reason for the decline was I was more than the amount that the grant was the grant versus the loan, which is strange for 2 years, and I never received a grant. Also requested only $2,500. I called SBA and was told I'm getting the grant. I have to call back tomorrow because the tier 2 wouldn't answer me. I'll let you know what happens. I mean, John, it is now a daily situation where we have viewers of this channel saying they're denied because their economic injury was less than the grant that they received, and they had never received a grant. It's just happening every day. And you're not alone. Kimberly, what's going on there? Kimberly, don't you know who you're giving grant money to and when you're giving grant money to? Why are you denying people for grant money which they never got? It's just not a rare occurrence. It's happening every single day. Kevin McCoy, it's now 11:48 Eastern Standard Time. I just received a notice from SBA. They said they're going to send my second application out and consider my first one. Oh, throw my second application, consider my first one. Now they're saying my first application will be considered. The first application is the one that got denied due to credit. They didn't pull my credit. Do I get a second run at this? Really weird. You're not the only viewer who's had these multiple applications, one thrown out, this one kept. Don't worry about that. It means nothing. Corn-fed. Jose, the grant is free money. How can you not take free money for your own leisure? Oh, I remember Jose now. Jose was the one slamming every single viewer of this channel, saying no one should have EIDL grant money. And you don't need to repay it back. I'll tell you what, take the grant. I'll tell you what, take the grant, we'll exchange information, I'll give you the grant, and give LA 50% of the grant money for him being an awesome informative for us struggling with this SBA nonsense. Yes, Jose, I now recall, came in this channel and slammed all of you for taking grant money and using the EIDL loan system. Well, thank you, Jose, and I think Mitch McConnell's hiring. You would fit in very well. If you have a comment about today's video or itching to bitch about Mitch, drop it in the comments below and we may feature them in tomorrow's recording. And as always, stay in LA for more.